Yo, what's up guys? So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto is the last hope for the world, and heir to one of the most powerful ninja clan, harem movie. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, Special Jonin 23, link is in the description, and also subscribe to my channel, and like this video. Let's begin the video. It was a quiet October 10th. Well, mostly somewhere near the main gate we found a small boy around 5 years old running with tears in his eyes. The boy had cuts and bruises all over his body, tears mixed with blood rolling down his face. From what it looks like from the sweat on his face, he has been running for a while now. The boy looked back only to see a mob of villagers right behind him. The boy only had a few precious seconds to catch his breath before he had to run again. All the while he was thinking, why do they hate me? I never did anything to them. All I wanted was something to eat, and they beat me, stabbed me, and called me a demon. Sometimes I think I should stop running, and give up. And that is what the little boy did when he stopped. The villagers saw that the little boy stopped running. They knew that this was the perfect time to get rid of their demon problem once and for all. They quickly surrounded the small boy, and with smiles on their faces began to beat the boy. They shouted things like, finally we finish what the fourth started, or this is for my wife/husband, you filthy, worthless demon. The boy for the most part just took the hits, waiting for the moment for the death god to come take him away from this hell. Miles away from Konoha, a small group of wandering shinobis dressed in all black, their faces were covered by masks. The only visible part was their eyes, were quickly making their way towards the village. The leader of the group was getting more anxious as they got closer. Soon, young master, we will come get you, as per our agreement with your mother. The third Hokage was having a really long and hard day, or week for that matter. It all started with the Uchiha massacre. He was in meeting after meeting to find out the fate of the last surviving member. Most civilian council members wanted to adopt the young Uchiha, but they only wanted more political power, so they were quickly shot down. Others wanted him to be taught in the way of the ninja at a younger age so he can become strong, and one day bring the clan back to its former glory. It was decided that he would live in the care of several ninjas until he can take care of himself, and if he wanted to become a ninja, then he can join the academy at the proper age. The wandering ninjas finally made it to the front gates to the village hidden in the leaves. As they approached the gates, the guard stopped them and asked what business they had with the village. The leader pulled out a scroll and handed it to the guard. The guard saw that it was a summon to see the fourth Hokage, or the current one. The guard informed them that the fourth had died saving the village 5 years ago, fighting the nine-tailed fox, and that the third had once again taken office. Then he told him that the Hokage was in a meeting, and they needed to wait until morning to speak with him. He gave them directions to an inn where they can rest. With that he opened the gates and greeted them to Konoha. The group slowly walked to the inn the guard had pointed to. The leader was deep in thought. Why would the great fox spirit attack the village? Something doesn't make sense. They kept walking until they heard cheering and laughing. They decided to check it out. As they got closer, they saw more and more villagers dancing and cheering. They made their way toward the center of the group, and what they saw made their blood boil from anger. There in the center was a small boy no older than 5 years old, beaten, cut, and hanging upside down from a tree. What is the meaning of this? The leader of the group yelled at the top of his lungs. We just got rid of the demon, and we're celebrating. What is it to you? One of the villagers plainly told the ninja, as if they hadn't done anything wrong. Demon? What demon? All I see here is an innocent child being abused, the leader said with so much disgust and anger that the villager almost pissed his pants. Child? Ha! Don't make me laugh, this is no child. It is just the fucking nine tails in human form. At this the leader pulled out his sword and pointed it at the villagers. As he did this, his other companions did the same. They slowly walked towards the villagers, and they in turn began to walk away. They did this until they were in front of the body of the child. The leader cut the rope, and the body fell towards the ground. The body, however, was caught by the leader of the group. Kane, check the child to make sure he is okay. A female walked next to him, and bent down next to the boy, checking his vitals. Her eyes immediately opened wide, and turned to her leader. Leaders, come here quickly. I think you need to see this. The leader walked over to the woman and boy. What is it, Kane? He asked, as he bent over to see the boy. He has the mark on the back of his head. It's the black dragon. The black dragon. But that only belongs to the first house of the dragon lineage. I see, then this must be her son. There is still hope then. But first we must take him away from this hellhole. He got up and turned towards his followers. Men, we must take our young master away from here. Guard him with your lives if you have to. Kane picks him up and follows me. We have to speak to the leader of this village. Then he turned towards the villagers. Pray that this boy survives, if not the Dragon Clan will bring down great vengeance onto this village, and no one will survive. With that they vanished, heading towards the inn for some well-deserved rest, and to give treatment to the boy. The following morning the young boy finally woke up. He was confused by his surroundings, and then he saw 8 black-clad ninjas. The only thing he saw were their eyes. Behind each of them were different weapons. One had a staff with a spike on each end. It was made of steel, and had dragons engraved on it. Another had some sort of flails. They were connected to chains. The blades looked razor-sharp. The blunt side had what appeared to be dragon heads, and was made of gold. The others had standard ninja swords, nothing out of the ordinary, except one of them. His sword was exquisite. The sheath was pitch black with a golden dragon. The tail started from the base, and wrapped around the sheath, and on the tip was the head. Its mouth was open to hold the blade itself. The hilt was black with red wraps for comfort. "A young master, you are awake. How do you feel today?" he asked. The boy looked at them with fear which brought them great sorrow. "I'm okay. Who are you, and are you going to kill me?" he asked. "Of course not. As for who I am, my name is Ken Hayabusa, head of the 2nd house of the Dragon Clan. This is Ken Midamure, head of the 3rd house of the Dragon Clan," and he pointed towards the female of the group. "This is Shinden Nagazake, head of the 4th house of the Dragon Clan." He pointed to the man with the flails. "And what is your name, young one?" The boy, seeing that he was in no trouble, replied, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki." With that all the ninjas sighed with relief. He was indeed the one they were looking for. After they ate some breakfast they made their way towards the Hokage towers. They were in a defensive stance, and positioned themselves with Naruto in the center. As they walked they could see the hateful glares they sent Naruto, but decided to not do anything. They reached the door where the Hokage was at. The secretary saw Naruto, and the black-clad ninjas, and smirked, hoping that Naruto did something to piss them off, and was seeking retribution. "Hey, she can hope, can't she? Can I help you?" she said. "I need to speak with you, Hokage. Tell him that the Dragon Clan has unfinished business to address." She went into the Hokage's office, and a moment later she came out with a smile on her face. "The Hokage will see you now." And she led them inside. After she did, the Hokage gave her the rest of the day off. "Now what can I do for the Dragon Clan?" he asked, as he lit his pipe. "Cut the crap, Sarutobi. What is the meaning of this? Why weren't we told that his parents were dead? Why is he being treated this way? Is this how you treat the leader of the Dragon Clan? Because if so..." He didn't finish the statement, leaving the threat in the air. "What are they talking about?" he asked, confused. Just then the leader threw him a scroll with this insignia of the 4th, and the Dragon Clan, which was a swirl. He opened it, and read the contents. "To the head of the 2nd house of the Dragon Clan. This is Kushina Uzumaki, head of the 1st house. I am writing to inform you that I am with child, but seeing that I am now married I can't leave my husband's side. I have a request that in 5 years' time for you to come, and take my child to the place of my birth, and train him in the ancient ways of the dragon style. My husband is also in agreement with this. My husband's name is Minato Namikaze, former ninja of Whirlpool, trained in the Hiten Mitsurajiryu style. It's our hope that you will honor our request. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, head of the 1st house of the Dragon Clan. Minato Namikaze, Yandame Hokage of Konoha." After he finished reading the letter the 3rd looked down with sadness in his eyes. How could he have failed the 4th? He honestly had no idea he had a child. He assumed that he was an orphan that lost his parents during the attack, but now he knew that it was indeed the 4th son, and to make things worse he is the heir to the most powerful clan that has ever existed. "I see. I am truly sorry for the way the village had acted. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. I guess you will be taking the boy away. I have a request." The Hokage looked at the man, and waited for him to nod. "We recently lost the Uchiha clan last week, well all but 2, the one who murdered them, and the survivor. My favor is that you take him with you, and train him." Ken thought about it for a minute before answering. "Can't do it. The Uchiha clan are nothing but thieves who steal other people's hard-earned techniques with those eyes. I'm sorry, but we can't let someone like that know our secrets. Please disregard that request. I have another. I wish for Naruto to come back to Konoha, and join the ranks. That's for the young master to decide, as when he turns 13 he will be leader of the Dragon Clan. We won't be able to force him to come back if chooses not to." Suddenly an ANBU ninja stormed in wearing a dog mask. He was carrying a small child with pink hair. "Sir, sorry for interrupting, but we have a situation, but it seems this girl's mother committed suicide. She left a note with the child." He handed the note to the Hokage, and he read the contents. "To whom it may concern, I can't live on like this. Tell Sakura that I am sorry, but I am or was weak. Tell her that it wasn't her fault, it's just I am lonely without him. To whoever finds this, please take care of her, and make her strong. If you can never tell her who I was. Haruno, Kiko." The Hokage looked up at the ANBU nin. "Who found her?" "I did, sir." "How did she?" "Well, you know, she hung herself. I found her when Sakura ran out of the house crying, as I was passing by at the time." What are you going to do with her, sir? I guess I have no choice. I will have to send her to the orphanage. Just as he finished, Naruto began to get nervous, and decided to voice his opinion. No! You can't, they will treat her badly, he yelled, fearing the girl's well-being. Naruto, what do you mean they will treat her badly? The boy didn't know how to lie, so he just began to speak. They only feed you once every 3 days, and make you clean the whole house. Make you sleep on the floor, they beat you for asking for water. Please don't send her there. Naruto then turned to Ken, and asked, can't she come with us please? Ken looked at Naruto, then to the third, after which he let out a deep sigh. Fine, young master Sarutobi, I wish to take the girl with us also. The Hokage was happy that someone had taken the girl, as he did not want to place her in the orphanage. Very well, you may take the girl, just try to have them return if they don't want to. I will understand, just let me know of their decision. Everyone bowed to leave. The third went back to his desk, and began to ponder what Konoha had done. The dragon ninjas were walking out of Konoha when they stopped, and turned around. Young master, and Lady Sakura, say goodbye to this place, for it will be a long time before you see it again. And with that they walked away towards the hidden dragon village. It was a 5-day run, as Ken carried Naruto, and Kane carried Sakura. As they stopped at the entrance, they were greeted by every villager/ninja with a bow, as they welcomed the last Uzumaki. They walked down the street, and Naruto could not believe what he was seeing. Every building looked brand new, but had that old-fashioned look to them. Families were out, fathers training their children the ninja arts, as there was no academy. They continued to walk until they reached the center of the village, where there was a building about 3 stories high. They walked in, and went to the top floor. Elders of this village, I have brought you the last Uzumaki. I say last because sadly Kushina has passed, leaving young Naruto to fend for himself. Also it has come to my attention that the great fox spirit guardian attacked Konoha, and it was sealed into him. Ken said to the council of elders. This is odd, why would the fox spirit attack that of which it protects? Besides, once it saw an Uzumaki it would calm down. One of the elders spoke. I think there is something foul in all of this, maybe a greater demon was in or still is in the village, and to stop it went to kill it. Another elder spoke. But the Uzumakis would have killed it, and stopped the fox, but also the fox would not kill an Uzumaki, as they are directly of the dragon lineage. The first elder spoke. Maybe they weren't aware of each other, and the demon took advantage of this, and killed her, but did not know of the child. That would make sense, and if so we still have the element of surprise. The third elder finally spoke. Yes, all hope is then not lost, train him we must, but what of the girl, who is she? This is Sakura Haruno. Her mother killed herself. She was going to be placed in an orphanage, but the young master asked to come with us. They have developed a sibling bond. She even calls him big brother. Very well, you are to train her, as well, and her name will now be Sakura Uzumaki. She is now part of the dragon lineage, not of blood, but spirit. Go take them to their home, and Ken protects him, as he is our last hope. The first elder ordered. Ken took the young boy and girl to a rather large complex. Master Naruto, this is the Uzumaki compound. At one time your family numbered in the hundreds, but sadly you are the last true Uzumaki. Lady Sakura, you have been adopted into the Uzumaki clan, and will be learning their secrets and techniques. Inside you will find everything you need. Tomorrow we will start your training, and also meet my son. Till then, good night, Ken said with a bow. Naruto looked at Sakura before grabbing her hand, and pulling her into their new home. As they walked into the front door they were greeted by 10 servants. Welcome Master Naruto, my name is Mai, and I am the head maid of the house, and your personal servant, and bodyguard. A woman who looked in her early 20s, dressed in traditional kimono, said with a bow. This is Riku, and will be Lady Sakura's bodyguard. She pointed to a woman in her mid-20s also dressed in a traditional kimono. Come, you must be tired, and hungry, I have your bath ready, young master. She led Naruto to one of the bathhouses in the compound. Minutes later they both came back, and Naruto was now wearing black ninja pants, and a white shirt with a dragon symbol on the back of it. Sakura was finally led towards the bathhouse. After a few minutes she came back wearing a battle-style kimono. It was white with Sakura petals all over. Young master and lady, come with us to your rooms, as tomorrow you will start your training. Also I will be teaching you how to read and write, also math and history, so be ready. Naruto walked into his room, and looked around. For the first time in his young life he had a soft bed to sleep in. His room was huge compared to the one he had back at the orphanage. He had finally found a place where he could be himself, and not wear any masks. He laid in his bed, and slowly drifted to sleep. He would show them that Naruto Uzumaki was not to be played with. The next morning Naruto woke to find Mai waiting next to his bed. Good morning, young master, time to get started with your training, but first time for breakfast. Lady Sakura is already waiting. The tone that she used was a calming motherly one. Naruto got up, and got into his training clothes, which were black pants with a white shirt. After getting dressed, he went into the dining hall where he saw his little sister Sakura happily eating some fruit. After breakfast, the group, which included Naruto and Sakura with their bodyguards, got to a rather large complex. Now children, this is the house of the Huga Clan. Here is where you will train to use the ancient ninja arts of assassination and information gathering. Also you will learn the art of swordplay. Mai walked up to the front gate and knocked on the gate. Minutes later, a woman came to the front gate dressed in a plain kimono. Yes, can I help you? She asked in a quiet tone. Please tell Master Ken that I have brought the young master and lady for their training. Mai said in a soft tone, as well. The young master, Master Ken has been waiting for your arrival, please come with me. She led the group to the main house. Her movements were those of grace. By the way, my name is Iam. Here we are. Master Ken is inside the dojo training his son. Now if you excuse me, I have many things that need my attention. She bowed, and went to do her daily activities. Mai opened the door to find a small boy doing some katas with a wooden sword. Ken looked up to see Mai, and her young charge. Mai, it seems that you have brought Naruto with you. Well, I suppose it is time to begin training you, young master, but first let me introduce my son, and your sparring partner for the years to come. He turned around. Ryu came here to meet your new partner. A small boy about the same age as Naruto walked up to the group. Naruto is my son Ryu Hayabusa. Ryu is Naruto Uzumaki. He will be training with us. Also, Sakura Uzumaki is Naruto's little sister. He watched, as they both bowed to each other, and saw how Ryu blushed when he saw Sakura, and she did the same. So young, and they still fell for each other. I guess this was meant to be, but I will not force anything on them. Well then, I guess we should start. First, every morning when you wake up, you run 40 times around the village, after which you eat a breakfast of vegetables and fruits. Mai, you are to make sure they do. Then you will come here for your training in stealth and hand-to-hand fighting. After which will be a quick break and lunch. After lunch, which will consist of fruits and some meat, we will work on your weapon training. Then afterwards you will go home to begin your studies to make your mind sharp. And before you go to sleep, you are to meditate to relax your mind and work on your senses. Ken then walked into a closet and pulled out some weights. Now you will be using these weights until I tell you to. Do not take them off until then, not even when you bathe. After receiving nods from the two children, he gave them the weights and waited for them to put them on. Now seeing, as it is almost mid-morning, I want you to run around the village 2 times. Now go. Mai, make sure they don't get lost. Now go. It was late morning before Naruto and Sakura got back to the dojo covered in sweat. Good, now come to the center of the mat for your taijutsu training. Both compiled, as they were next to Ryu. Okay, now Ryu has more experience with this type of style, so he can go on with the second stage. This style has 3 levels. The first is the resting dragon. This style is the most common style of the raising dragon style. This style uses the opponent's force against them. The person moves in a lazy way before striking. Also, this style is meant to disable, not kill. Next will be the rising dragon. This level is a more aggressive type of fighting, meant to break bones. It relies on the user's power and speed. Like I mentioned, it can break bones, but rarely kills. The third and final level is the raging dragon. This level is the most aggressive of them all. This style is meant to kill by striking vital points in the body. Naruto and Sakura watched as Ken got into a stance, which they quickly got into. They proceeded to follow the movements that Ken showed them. After a few hours, Mai and Iam walked in with trays of food. Ken told them that it was time for lunch, and they quickly went to the table. Mai sat next to Naruto with a pitcher of water ready to refill it when needed. Sakura had Riki do the same. Iam sat next to Ryu and Ken. Naruto looked up from his food and saw a small girl with purplish hair with purple eyes. She was standing next to the door hiding. She looked like she was about a year younger than him, about Sakura's age. Iam saw that Naruto was looking at her, and she decided to introduce them. I see, you see my youngest daughter. She turns around to face the little girl. Come here. I want you to meet somebody. The timid girl slowly walked from behind the door and walked towards her mother. Ain-chan is Master Naruto. He comes from Uzumaki. Naruto is my daughter Ain. Ain looked at Naruto and quickly bowed. As she rose, she was face to face with Naruto, who had a wide smile on his face. Friend, was all he said, and she nodded. After lunch they went outside where there were several training posts. Okay kids, now is the time to start your weapon training. Naruto, you will be trained in the Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu style of your father. This style is a combination of speed and power. To use these in conjunction will let you take on many enemies at one time. This style was brought many years ago from a samurai named Kenshin Himura. Your father was the first to completely learn every technique of this style, and even created one in which he was called the Yellow Flash 4. Now your father did teach another this style, and after much looking found him, and he will teach you the style. Sakura, after watching you in the dojo, I have decided that the Rising Dragon is not the style for you. So I am going to take you to a special trainer. Her name is El Laga, and she will teach you the ancient art of the Kurta Ryoka Sappo. She lives on the outskirts of the village. But first, Naruto, I want you to begin by doing 5,000 slashes upward, then to the right, then left, then downward. Begin. Ken left Naruto with Mai to do his training while Riku went to Ken to meet Sakura's new teacher. They walked for 5 minutes when they reached a large open meadow in the center of a small house. They walked up to the house and knocked on the door. After a minute, an old woman about in her late 50s opened the door. Can I help you? Elle, it's good to see you. I have a request. I need you to train Lady Sakura in your style. The old woman looked at the little girl and saw potential because she hadn't been trained much in another style. Very well, come child, let's start your training. She bowed to Ken, who in return bowed and left. Sakura? You will start with doing the first part of the style called Shadow Skill, in which you will learn how to use your legs to attack. This style also makes your body into a weapon. There are several attacks that come with this style, being sword, chainsaw, rapier, tomahawk, boomerang, cannon, kamui, kabuto, and shell. As you can see, some of the attacks are named after weapons, and which resemble them. Take sword, that attack you sends chakra down to one of the legs, then attack with that leg if done right can slice right through the enemy. And chainsaw is an attack where you do a handstand and spin the body with the legs extended, while moving chakra to the legs, making them blade, which of course kills on contact. The old woman looked at the little girl, who had stars in her eyes, knowing that this is the style that she was going to learn. Now here is some history of this style. Many years ago in the land that I come from, there were many female slaves, in which were used as playthings. Their hands were chained so they couldn't defend themselves. Shortly after, this skill was made, as a way to defend themselves. After a rebellion, the newly freed slaves went on to have families, and passed on these styles to their daughters. The sons of these slaves created a branch style called the Open Skill, in which they used their upper bodies as the primary tools of attack. Soon after, the two skills combined to make the style you will learn, in which is called Inryu. First you start with the Shadow, then to Open, and finally Ing. Elle took Sakura into the back of her house, and told her that she needed to build strength in the legs and hips, where most of the power comes from. So she told her to kick a bamboo tree until she was told otherwise. It was getting late, and the children were now returning home from their training. Mai and Riku cleaned and healed their wounds before they fed them dinner, and began their studies, where they learned the 3 principles of ninjutsu, which was the first principle of heaven, time the attack with care, second principle of earth, find the enemy's weak spot, and finally the principle of mankind, manipulate their surroundings. After which Naruto was in his room meditating. He found himself in a dark sewer-like place. He heard growling, and decided to find the source. After walking down maze-like halls until he reached a large room, it was dark and gloomy. In the far end he saw a cage, and in this cage was a large shadow. He walked up to the cage only to find a spirit fox inside. Great Spirit Fox, where is this place, and why are you trapped? Naruto asked. So my jailer has finally come to see me. Well, my boy, this is your mindscape. And the reason I am trapped is because your father put me in here to save the village. But I was doing the same by killing a greater demon hiding with the mortals. I did not know one of the Uzumaki was in the village. If I did, I would not have attacked. The fox spirit looked down in shame. Forgive young Uzumaki. Because of me your life has been hard, and is only going to get harder as you get older, as you are the world's last hope. Meanwhile, back in Konoha, in a dark room underground. Master Doka, everything is going according to plan. First we got the fox spirit sealed away into a small boy, and one day will die leaving this land for you to conquer. Secondly, the last Uzumaki was killed in the attack. I made sure of it personally. The dark dragon sword will be at full power in a little of 8 years. A shadow spoke into a stone that was lit. Yes, soon I will have the power to rule this world, and with the strongest guardians sealed away, and the keepers of the sword all dead, nothing will stop me from achieving my goals. Ha 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 ha, a evil voice replied from the stone. Danzo, make sure that nothing gets in the way of my goal, even if it means destroying the land of fire. Yes, my master, as you wish. Suddenly the stone lost its glow. Nothing is going your plans, my master, ha ha ha. Naruto woke up the next morning ready to begin his train. He got up and ran around the village before he ate breakfast. Sakura had just finished her morning rituals before they both went to their senses. Naruto had become good friends with Aiin, who she introduced to a good friend of hers by the name of Kasumi, who immediately got infatuated with Naruto, which for some reason made Aiin mad. Ryu also got very close to Sakura, and, as the months passed, could be seen hanging with each other, which the villagers thought was very cute, as 2 6-year-olds walking like a couple. In a rundown village, somewhere near the snow country, Many people lived in despair. Laughter was non-existent. The only place where laughter could be heard is in a dingy bar in the center of town. The source of laughter was coming from a group of bandits that terrorized this part of the world. Their numbers rounded in the thousands. Military powers like the 5 elemental villages refused to take any mission for its low success rate. A man dressed in peasant's clothes walked into the bar with a girl. The bandits for the most part left him alone. He looks at the man playing the piano, and the man gives a quick nod. A girl no older than 12 was escorted up to a table. This table was the loudest in the bar. It was covered by many young girls. In the midst of all these girls was a fat, balding man. He smelt of alcohol and blood. The man was holding 2 of the girls. The looks on the girls' eyes gave indication that they were mistreated and had lost the will to live. The man walked up to the bandit. "Lord Barris, I bring you my only daughter in hopes that you will grant me permission to use the farmland to produce my crops this year," the man said with tears flowing down his cheeks. The bandit leader looked at the girl, and he could tell that she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. "Sick pedophile, very well, you can farm the lands, and, as payment I will take your daughter, and when the crops come to season I will take my share." The man bowed before handing over the young girl. The girl fought to break free, but to no avail. "Fine, this transaction is complete, now go and have a drink at the bar while you watch your daughter become a real woman," the sick perverted bastard said, as he liked to see the pain in the eyes of the parents when he ravaged their young girls. The man was escorted to the bar where the barkeep gave him a drink. The barkeep's eyes were full of pain, as one of the girls he was holding when the man arrived was his only child. Barris ordered all the girls to leave his side, as he was going to enjoy this one. As the girls left, the man playing the piano stopped playing his music, and went to grab something from the base of the piano. The peasant man was also getting rather anxious, as he slowly moved his right hand behind his back. Barris went to grope the girl, but, as he got closer he stopped moving. He looked down to find that his abdomen was cut open, and his insides were now pouring out of him. He looked up to the girl who was now sporting a sick smile. "Shadow sword" was what she said. "Ninjas, kill the bitch, make her suffer" was his last order before he fell to the ground dead. Many of the bandits now charged at the girl. The girl jumped over the table, landing on the floor before charging the group. Cutie phrase, she ran through the group of bandits, only to stop behind them. The bandits stopped in their tracks. Seconds later the bandits began to fall apart, as blood sprayed all over the bar. "Damn sis, do you really have to make such a mess every time I take you out?" the man dressed, as the peasant walked next to her. "Well bro, it's more fun this way now to remove the henge, as things are going to get interesting now," the girl said, as she removed her wig, and contracts that made her eyes black. She now had pink hair and emerald eyes. The man went up in smoke to reveal a 13-year-old boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Half of his face was covered by a clothed mask. "Well Sakura, this mission is almost over. We can finally go home. Yo Ryu, are you going to join the fun or are you going to play with yourself?" the boy yelled. The man at the piano gave the boy a grunt before dispelling his henge to a boy also the age of 13. "Damn Naruto, why must you be such an asshole? Whatever Ryu, let's finish this. It's been far too long being in this forsaken place." 3 ninjas walked out of the bar, as the alarm was set off. One of the bandits saw them, and charged at Naruto. He pulled out his sword ready to kill him. Naruto vanished only to appear behind the bandit. The bandit fell to the ground in 2 pieces. "Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get the fuck out of here. Kill any bandits that get in your way." All 3 ninjas disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto ran down the village square where he was surrounded by 9 bandits. Naruto got into his father's style. He put his sword to his side. He yelled 9-headed dragon strike, as he charged at the bandits. First strike hit one of them in the neck. Next one hit another in the side, then another through the chest. Next the spine, followed by the arms, and again the neck, followed by chest, followed by the whole midsection. He finished his attack on the final bandit by slicing through half of his head. In the last bandit's point of view he saw his fellow bandits spray a fountain of blood before falling to the ground dead. The last thing he saw was 2 Narutos walking away before his head fell in 2 pieces. Sakura was taking the left side of the village before she came across a group of 10 bandits beating a small boy while a woman who appeared to be the boy's mother was watching, as she was being groped and licked. "Hey scum, why do you come play with me?" That got the attention of the bandits, as they had lust-filled eyes on her. "Haha, why don't we play with her, then we can finish with this wench. I always love young tender meat anyways," she heard one of them say. Sakura was disgusted by that remark, and made a mental note to make their last seconds in the living world as painful as possible, that they will welcome hell with open arms. They charged her ready to claim their prize. Sakura got into her stance before she went on the attack. Ikuga sent chakra to the tips of her fingers, then she jammed them into the spines of the bandits. "That, my dear bandits, is my most painful assassination move at my disposal. Let me tell you what it does. First I send my chakra into the body, in which the area I hit will slowly begin to contract or expand depending on the area I hit. I hit all your spines, in which will contract until your spine breaks. I say you have about 2 minutes left. I am sure you can start feeling your spines contracting, as we speak. After 2 minutes, and screams of agony, the area finally heard the sounds of snaps. As the bandits now laid on the ground folded in half backwards, Sakura quickly left the area to meet the rest of her team. Ryu was having an easier time, as he only encountered small numbers in groups of 2 or 3 in which he quickly disposed of. As he ran he saw a lone bandit. Not knowing what was going on, Ryu slowly walked in the shadows waiting for the bandit to walk by. As he did, Ryu grabbed him from the mouth so as to not make a sound. He could see the fear in his eyes, as Ryu sliced his throat. Ryu saw, as his life was being drained from his eyes before laying him in the alley, before moving on. Now to any teenagers this would be a traumatic sight, but to these 3 it was an everyday thing. Killing was their job, it was what they were trained to do. Naruto had his first kill when he killed the Mizukage at the age of 9. He was to infiltrate a slave prostitution ring, but this was different. It was full of young boys, not girls. It was rumored that the Mizukage at that time was a frequent customer. One night his target came in, and placed a string that the fox spirit showed him. It made him believe that Naruto was the only one there at the time. The Mizukage took him to one of the rooms that were open for privacy, and, as soon as the Mizukage locked the door, he was met with the Raging Dragon's most powerful attack. It consisted of 20 punches to several vital points in the body. The Mizukage fell onto his knees to where he was face to face with Naruto. Now the first part of this attack was meant only to make the victim paralyzed, but in full control of their pain receptors. Once hit, the victim will fall to their knees so it can set up for the final attack. The final attack is when the user sends chakra to the fists. Once done, they will hit the victim in the head. The result is that the brain matter will blast out the back of the head. After he finished the assassination, a worker of the place walked in to see a boy covered in blood, and the Mizukage dead on the floor. The worker ran, but Naruto threw a shuriken at him. Unfortunately, the worker managed to reach the alarm, and triggered it. Naruto had to fight his way out, but thanks to his team he was able to get out. As they fought, they met up with their employers. They were none other than the 7 swordsmen of the mist. They thanked them, and went on to start a revolution which brought mist back on its feet. Sakura and Ryu also had their first kill here. Naruto and the group finally reached the outside of the village. Finally, this fucking mission is over. Naruto sighed. I know what you mean, 2 years of nothing, but fighting bandits was getting boring. Give me some black spiders anytime, Sakura said. I know what you mean, this was truly a waste of our time, Ryu said with no emotion. Yeah, well, it's over now, and it's time to go home. This country's bandit problem is now non-existent. There may be some out there, but now they can defend themselves. All we had to do was take out the big leaders, which we did. Now let's go home. The group finally started to go home after many years on a mission. 1 week later, the trio finally made it back to their homes. Naruto slowly walked to his home, thinking back on the mission. Sakura was invited to lunch by Ryu, which she happily accepted. Naruto finally made his way back to his house. He was greeted by his usual servants. Mai was still head maid of the house, but was no longer Naruto's personal bodyguard, as he proved to her that she didn't need her for protection. He went into his private bathhouse. There he sat trying to relax, but somehow couldn't. That mission somehow changed him. Bloodshed was all he saw in the past 3 years. Pain, crying, and death was now the norm for him. But now he is home, and peace and tranquility was abound here, and he didn't know if he could cope. Naruto got out of his tub and dried up. He got into his boxers. He slowly walked over to his bed. He was tired, very tired. He laid down on his stomach and began to remember again. As he was lost in thought, he didn't hear someone walk into his room. Naruto had closed his eyes hoping to catch some sleep. Suddenly he felt small soft hands caressing his back. My Naruto-kun, you are very tense. Let my hands relax you, a soft voice said, as the hands kept massaging Naruto's back. Oh, Ain-chan, that feels terrific. How I miss you, Naruto said, as he felt his muscles relax. His troubles also seemed to melt away. Ain always seemed to find a way to relax Naruto. As the years went by, their relationship seemed to grow until they finally confessed to each other that they loved each other. Minutes passed, and Naruto finally went to sleep, forgetting about the mission that he was on. Naruto-kun, I am glad you are finally home, she said, as she leaned to give him a kiss. Stay with me, Ain-chan. I don't want to be alone tonight, Naruto replied, as he slept. Of course, I will stay right here for you. Ain then laid down next to him, and Naruto wrapped his arms around her. Naruto-kun, I will always be by your side, she thought. The next morning Naruto woke up only to find Ain's sleeping form on him. She really is beautiful. Naruto slowly got out of bed so as not to wake her. After 10 minutes he finally got out of bed, and walked to his bathroom. After finishing his morning rituals he got into his training clothes, and went for a quick run. As he ran he found his longtime friend, and partner doing the same. Ryu, I noticed that Sakura has come home yet. Care to explain? Ryu looked up at Naruto. Naruto, there is something that you need to know. Okay, what is it? Does it have to do with why Sakura hadn't returned home? Naruto asked. Yes it does. You see, I love Sakura, you know that, right? Well, as she is about to turn 13, and legally get married, and, as you know, she is one of the most beautiful girls in the village. Yeah, I remember when we got the new issue of the list, and she was placed third in the top most beautiful, but deadly. First came Aang, then Kasumi. But still that doesn't explain why she didn't come home. Well, you see, as it states in the laws of the village, once a girl turns 13 she can get married, and well, I asked her to marry me. Ryu looked at Naruto looking for any reaction. And, as it states in the laws, if she accepts then she has to move into the house of her fiancé. Naruto was shocked by this. It took him about a minute before it completely clicked. Well, Ryu, I am glad she found a good man. I can't be any happier than you, and not some bastard hoping to get power and protection from the Dragon Clan. Now we must finish our run, as we have lots to do today. It was about 6 in the morning. As the sun began to rise, Naruto stopped outside of the Hayabusa clan house with Ryu. Now Ryu, you must realize that in order for you to marry you must have the approval of the bride's guardian, and if she is from a clan, the clan leader also. Ryu paled when he heard Naruto said this, but quickly recovered when heard. But lucky for you that I like you, and can't think of anyone better. I, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, head of the first house of the Dragon Clan, hereby grant permission to Ryu Hayabusa, heir to become head of the second house of the Dragon Clan, to marry Sakura Uzumaki, my sister. May your union be one of happiness and peace. Ryu bowed down to Naruto. I, Ryu Hayabusa, heir to the second house of the Dragon Clan, is honored with this blessing. I hereby vow to keep her safe and happy, Ryu said as stood up. Now go, and get ready, as we need to go to the elders to report our mission's success. Naruto bowed, as Ryu did the same, and both went their separate ways to get dressed. 2 hours later Naruto was standing in front of the elders' building. After waiting for 2 minutes, Sakura and Ryu finally made their way to Naruto. Well, it took you long enough, and Sakura, congrats on your engagement. I hope I will be visiting my nephews and nieces soon. At this remark Sakura and Ryu both grew very red from embarrassment. Naruto was laughing his ass off at this. Come, let's go give the report, and maybe get another mission. Naruto and the group climbed the stairs leading to the room where the elder ran the village. Great elders, I have come to report that the mission that was placed on us 3 years ago has been completed with a successful outcome, Naruto said, as he bowed to the elders. Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Uzumaki, and Ryu Hayabusa, it pleases the council to hear your report. For far too long that an area of the world had been tormented by bandits. Now please tell us your report of the mission. For the next hour they told their tale on how they completed the mission. Well, that is some tale. All I have to say is good job on a successful mission. Now we must go on to the next issue, and then assign you a new mission. Naruto bowed down before some servants brought a table and chairs for them to sit on. After everything was set up they brought some tea. Naruto Uzumaki and Ryu Hayabusa, as you well know, you both are heirs to your houses. Well, Naruto, you have already claimed your status as head of the first house. Ryu, you will get your status in 2 weeks, as your father will step down and go on an expedition to cleanse his soul, as all the ninjas who reach old age must do. Now the reason I bring this up is, Naruto, you are the last true Uzumaki left, and, as such, you are required to sire many children. As such, you must marry at least 3 wives, the minimum with no max. Ryu, you also must marry multiple wives, as your father only had you before your mother died, and he didn't remarry. As such, you two are the last true Hayabusa left. Sure, there are many Hayabusa out there, but they were adopted in the clan, and don't share the bloodline of the dragons. Naruto looked up to the elder. Great elder, you say I have to marry many wives, but do I get to choose, or are they already lined up? No, you get to choose, but if by the age of 18 you do not have at least 3 wives, then the council of the elders will choose them for you. Ryu, this applies to you too. Ryu looked at Sakura and smiled. So all I have to do is get 2 more wives, and I will be set then. The elders looked up at Ryu and asked, what do you mean, 2 more wives? Have you chosen your first already? Why, yes, great elder, just yesterday I asked Sakura Uzumaki to become my wife, in which she agreed. Very well, I guess that is acceptable. Now let's get you started on your next mission. At this, Naruto, Sakura, and Ryu got attention. Team Oni, the daimyo of Wave Country, has come to us for help. It would seem that a man by the name of Gato has taken over many of the country's port villages. These villages are the main source of income for the country. Our spies were sent to Wave to assess the situation. They have reported that the country is in a state of poverty. Also states that Gato has employed the services of many missing neens from several countries, and to make matters worse have also hired the Black Spider clan. Naruto looked at the floor thinking about the last time they encountered that clan, then a smile crept over his face. Oh, how he was going to like this mission. Your mission is, as follows: Team Oni and Team Tenchi, both teams are to go to Wave, find Gato, kill him, and exterminate the Black Spiders, and any opposition you encounter. Free this country from their bonds. Dismissed. Naruto walked down the street thinking about what the elder said about marrying many wives. He already had one he was planning on marrying, so where was he going to find two more? As he got home he spotted Ain getting ready to go on a mission. Then he remembered that his team and her team were doing a joint mission. It had taken the teams 2 weeks to arrive at the borders of Wave. Along the way they were making up the battle plan. They would start in the smallest village so they could set up a base from which they would conduct their plans. Team Tenchi were sent in first to stake out the area. Soon they came to give their reports. The report stated that one of the villages was making a bridge to connect them to the mainland. Very well, we will go there to see, as Gato will probably send his men to that area to stop the construction of this bridge. Now what is the security of the village? Ain walked in front of her team, and pulled out a map that she made of the village. Security is more or less non-existent. The spirit of the people is pretty much broken, so there are only about 200 mercs in the area. Places of interest are 2 bars, and a brothel in the center of town. From the original stats, the brothel was once the home to the leader of this town, but was taken over, and the leader's wife and daughters were made into whores. His sons were publicly executed to show that they had all the power. Now there is one road going into the village, and is heavily guarded, but from what we've seen there is a secret path here on the south side of town. Ain pointed at the map. Also there is a rumor that a villager, the one responsible for the bridge, is going to the land of fire to hire bodyguards. That's foolish. If he is out in the open he will be easy pickings, and, as such, I want you 3 to go into this village, and create a base for us. Then I want you to find as much information as possible. Here are some of the spies already in this village with the names of the others in surrounding towns. Meanwhile my team will follow this bridge builder in the shadows to make sure that he doesn't get killed, as he is the lure to bring Gato out. In a matter of 3 days everything was set up. Team Tenchi found all of the spies in the village, and got their intel. Surprisingly they found that 4 of the spies were working in the rank of Gato's forces. They supplied them with information on who was working with him, how many, and Gato's whereabouts. Naruto's team found Tazuna, as he was quietly making his way out of the village. One of the guards that was on duty heard something, and went to investigate. He was heading towards the bridge builder, thought he didn't know, but Naruto did. So Naruto gave the order to Ryu to take him out quietly, which Ryu did. As he circled behind the merc, slowly he walked behind him, and with one move grabbed him around the mouth, and stabbed him in the side twice. Seconds later the merc was dead. Ryu dragged the body next to a tree before regrouping with the team. 1 week after he had reached the gates of Konoha, Naruto stayed 4 miles away to not alert the ninjas. Suddenly they felt 2 chakra identities. Well, who do we have here? Naruto said, scaring the neens. Meanwhile back in Konoha, the Hokage was having a bad month. First he received word that Naruto and Sakura refused to come back to Konoha to join them. Next Sasuke had graduated first in his class, but no Jonin wanted to take him into their team. 1. After speaking with the council they practically ordered him to make one of them train him. Sadly, since Kakashi had taken a team ever, and this year was no different, he was the only one left, and was ordered to train him, but since all Genins were already in teams it would be an apprenticeship instead. They would train alone, but when missions were given they would piggyback on with the full teams, and that's where we are right now. Hokage-sama, we are here for our next mission, Kakashi said, but not in his usual self. He did not want to train the arrogant bastard. It only made it worse because he had to train him exclusively, which made Sasuke's ego even bigger. Very well, but you have to wait for the full teams to arrive before I assign you to their mission also. The Hokage didn't like this system, as it showed favoritism, and Sasuke did not need it. He knew what happens when you give a student everything they want. Suddenly he was brought out of his train of thought when Team 8 walked in. We are here for our assignments, Hokage-sama, said Kurina as she bowed. Okay, Team 8 along with Kakashi and his charge, you will pick up trash in Park 14, after which. And oh, I want a real mission, and why do we have to work with this bastard? Kiba said, as he interrupted the Hokage, and got hit in the head by his sensei. The Hokage looked up at the group of Genins, which made them gulp, thinking that they were in trouble. The reason that you're working with Sasuke is because you were the first to arrive, which made Sasuke pissed off. They should be happy that they get to work with him, as a Uchiha. The Hokage looked at the track record of Team 8, and saw that they had enough D-rank missions to take a C-rank one. Okay, I will give you a C-rank mission. It's an escort then protect one. First part is to escort your client then. Fine, that's acceptable. Tell him I will be waiting at the rendezvous point in 3 days, and make sure you make it believable. I don't want those bastards thinking something is up now. Naruto walked out of the shadows. So is everything okay? Sakura asked, as she began to pack up the camp. Yeah, everything is good, but one thing has changed. It would seem that leaf ninjas are going to be around, and from what my sources say the Uchiha is going to be with them. To make matters worse, Kakashi of the Sharingan is also coming. So that means that you have to be on guard, and don't show any of your abilities in front of them. I will send a hawk to tell the other team to keep that in mind. Everything else still goes according to plan. After he saw his team nod, he called the hawk to his side, and gave it an encoded message before sending it on its way. Good, let's go. We have to meet up with an old friend. Team Oni then left their campsite. They left it, as they found it, and if you didn't know what you were looking for you would never know that they were there. Meanwhile with the leaf neens, Tazuna was being asked questions by Hinata about Wave, and what it was like. He told her that it was very poor, but he didn't tell her about the more horrible things because it was oblivious that this was their first mission out of the village. As they walked, Kurenai, Kakashi, and Hinata noticed a puddle in the water. Shino felt a chakra spike, and Kiba picked up a scent. The only one that was oblivious was Sasuke. They all looked at each other, and nodded. The genins went to surround their client, and the jonins were slowly backing away. Suddenly 2 chains popped out of nowhere, and wrapped around Kakashi and Kurenai. The chains then ripped them to pieces. Sasuke froze up when he saw this. Team 8 went on the attack. Hinata went to strike one of the neens only to miss. The neen thought he had her turned around to kill her only to find a fist hit him in the face by Kiba. Shino was fighting the other. His bugs were now attached, draining him of his chakra. Sasuke, just now getting over his shock, went to attack one of the neens only to be hit by one of the chains, falling unconscious. After 2 minutes of fighting, the demon brothers were knocked unconscious. Kurenai came out with a smirk on her face, proud of her students. Kakashi had a look of indifference. He really didn't care about his student. He didn't want him in the first place. He was ordered to. Naruto was watching in the shadows, as the demon brothers and the leaf genins were fighting. It would seem those genin are strong. Then he looked at Sasuke, and chuckled. Well, most of them. So that's the famous Sasuke Uchiha, Rookie of the Year. Pathetic, what do you think, Sakura? Yeah, pathetic. I bet since he is the last of his clan he has a lot of fangirls. When she finished that statement, Ryu and Naruto shuddered. Before Ryu announced he loved Sakura 3 years ago, he had the second largest fan club in the village. First belonging to Naruto until he started to see eyeing. Yeah, whatever, it seems they are going to Wave, Ryudo, and untie the losers, and catch up with us. Sakura, come, let's go, we have a meeting to get to. Sakura and Naruto disappeared into the forest. Ryu walked over to the unconscious neens. Hey idiots, wake up, I feel a group of nuns on their way. Then he kicked them, waking them up, then he cut the ropes. Quickly get out of here. Then Ryu started to dissolve into the ground. The leaf ninjas were now riding a boat to cross the ocean to get to Wave Country. When they got closer to the shore of Wave, they saw the biggest bridge that they had ever seen. Okay, this is as far as I am going to take you. I already risked more than I had to now get off, the boatman said with fear in his voice. The group got off the boat and began to walk on the road heading to the client's house. As they walked, the mist seemed to get denser and denser. Sasuke felt something, and to try to act cool threw a shuriken into the bush, getting the group into alert. They slowly walked towards the bush to find a white snow rabbit. The group looked at the rabbit, and had the same thing going through their minds. This is a snow rabbit, but they usually have brown fur during the summer. But this has white, meaning it was born inside, so this is a decoy. Suddenly they heard a whistling sound. Everyone got down. Kakashi yelled, as a giant sword came flying at them, almost taking them out. The sword was sent into a tree where a man stood on the hilt of it. Well, look at who we have here, the copycat ninja, and the Ice Queen of Konoha. No wonder my men were defeated, the man said. Zabuza Momochi, aka Demon of the Bloody Mist, so you're working for this scum. Oh, how you have fallen, Kakashi said, as he got into his battle stance. Well, it pays, and that all that matters. Now I will give you a chance. Give me the old man, and I will let you all leave her alive, Zabuza said. You know we can't do that, Kurenai said. Very well, I guess you all will die here today. Ryu had finally caught up with his teammates, with no problems. Naruto turned around to face his team. Okay, now we have to meet up with one of our spies up ahead. I don't want you to interfere with what I am about to do. I will go alone, and I want both of you to stay in the shadows just in case. Zabuza had just captured Kakashi in his water prison. Kurenai had long ago been put out of commission. Everyone takes the client, and Kurenai out of here. Leave me, that clone can't get more than a couple of feet away before it dissolves. Sasuke being the coward, he started to turn around to run, but seeing the determination of Team 8 made him stay because he didn't want to look weak in front of them. Zabuza, Kakashi, and Kurenai. Now this is a rare occasion, 3 of the most famous ninjas in the world all in one place. Pity I wasn't invited to the party. I guess my invitation was lost in the mail. A voice said, as if it was coming from everywhere. Oh shit, this can't be good, what is he doing here? Zabuza said, as he let Kakashi go from his prison. Bloody dragon, what are you doing here? I thought you were doing a mission in the snow country. How you call that a mission? It was more like a vacation, the voice said. Kurenai had her eyes open wide. The Leaf had heard reports that a group of ninjas were near snow killing all the bandits. Many people started to call it the Bloody Snow campaigns because the snow in that part of the world was red from all the fighting. Now tell me, what is this? I hear you working with this person. Have you run from Mist? If so, I must kill you. No, of course not, Zabuza said with fear in his eyes. Why would I leave Mist? I love that place. Please, Bloody Dragon, you must believe me. He was looking around waiting for an attack. Suddenly he felt a blade to his neck. I don't believe you, so die. The voice behind him shocked everyone at the speed of the new ninja. Then by his appearance, he was wearing black grabs, his face and hair was completely covered by a mask. All that could be seen was his eyes, they were a deep blue. No please, I did not leave Mist. I am not a nuke nin, Zabuza said with tears falling down his face. Confusing the Leaf nin, how can the demon of the Bloody Mist be afraid of this person, a teenager at that? After a few tense moments everyone heard clapping and laughter. Now, Naruto-kun, I think you traumatized Zabuza enough, a feminine voice said. Naruto started to chuckle. I guess you're right, Haku-chan, now come on out. And don't worry about the spies, my team took care of them, right guys? Naruto yelled, as he put his sword away. As he did, 2 black-clad nins landed next to him, and they nodded. A shadow appeared out of the forest, and, as it got closer they could see that it was female. Ah Haku, it's nice to see, but he never got to finish his sentence because the girl jumped on Naruto, and gave him a hug. Now Haku, like I was saying, it's good to see you again. But we have things to discuss. Haku got off Naruto, and nodded her head. Okay Naruto-kun. But first I need to talk to Kakashi first in private. And he turned to Kakashi, and gave him the sign to follow, which Kakashi did. Okay Kakashi, what do you got for me? 2. Well Naruto, it would seem that you were right, there does seem to be a greater demon in the village. From the reports it is in contact with a demon lord by the name of Doku. Also I have uncovered some things about your parents. Your mother did not die because of labor, but was assassinated. She kept her pregnancy a secret. She had her own doctor, and everything. When she gave birth to you the doctor left to clean you up, and when she returned she was dead. Somehow one of the followers or the demon itself saw her in that weakened state, and seeing that the Kyuubi was attacking made their move. Kakashi reported. I see, and what is this? You are training the Uchiha. I thought you would never take a team or apprentice. Well that, you see, as part of Leaf I have to do what the Hokage tells me, and he ordered me to train him. Kakashi said, now tell me how Kane is doing these days? He said with a blush. 3. Oh Kakashi, missing your wife already? Well, she misses you too. Tell you what, when we finish this mission I will personally request a long S-rank mission in which I will request that only you can do what you say. Thank you Naruto, he said with a bow. Now we must go back to the group or they might get suspicious. And, as to our agreement, nothing that was said here will be repeated. Both ninjas walked back to the group. Naruto was the first to speak. Alright now, let's get to business. My group was assigned to kill Gato by our client, but things have changed. Tizuna, you are the key to draw out this pig. Now that Leaf is involved things might get a little complicated, so let's clear them up. Sasuke was about to speak when Kakashi stopped him. Sasuke, you are to keep your mouth shut. This is part of being a ninja. When 2 ninjas from different villages are on the same mission or close to the parameters, then they have 2 options. Fight for the right to complete it or share the mission. And let me tell you that if they fight the losers die. So I think we will share, don't you think? Kakashi lectured to the genins, and especially to Sasuke. Well said. As of right now 3 villages are on this mission. Zabuza from Mist, Kakashi, and Kurenai from Leaf, me, and my team from our village. The Mist is to gather information, the Leaf is to protect Tizuna, and my team is to kill Gato and his mercs. Naruto reported. Tell me how many of you are on this team? Kurenai asked, and the genins nodded their heads, as they wanted to know also. Well Kurenai, my team is composed of myself, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Sakura Uzumaki, and Ryu Hayabusa, he said, as he pointed to his team. As he introduced them they removed their masks. When Sakura removed her mask every male genin began to blush, as they took in their beauty. Sasuke saw how beautiful she was, and he decided to show everyone how much of an ass he was. Well beautiful, why don't you come over here, and we can talk about restoring my clan, what do you say? You could belong to the best clan in the world. Hey Haku, you can join too if you want. After he finished, he was pinned to a tree by two of the most powerful ninjas there. If you ever speak to Haku like that, I will make sure that you don't live to see another sunrise, Zabuza said. How dare you speak to my fiancé in that matter? If we weren't on a mission, I would have killed you on the spot, Ryu said. Enough, Naruto yelled, we are on a mission here. Besides, if anyone is going to deal with him, it's going to be me. First he insults my sister, and then my good friend. Mark my words, Uchiha, you have just dug your grave, Naruto said to the group, then to Sasuke. You can't touch me. I am an Uchiha. If you touch me, the council will have your head. And besides, I will have those too. I always get what I want, the arrogant bastard said, only to be pinned to the tree by 4 shurikens, 2 on his shoulders, and 2 on his legs. He gave out a scream of pain, as he tore into his flesh. Let me tell you something, Uchiha. Outside of the walls of your village, your precious council can't do shit. Accidents happen on missions, and you can get killed. Also, the reason you are dealing with me is because those 2 would have killed you without a second thought. But for that remark, I will kill you now instead after the mission is complete. Now, before you start ranting that you are a Uchiha, let me tell you that I don't give a shit who your clan is. I have killed kings, warlords, and kages without even thinking. Do you want to know why they call me the Bloody Dragon? Well, today you will find out why. Naruto was about to kill the terrified Sasuke only to be stopped by Kakashi. Naruto, please excuse my student. Now I know of the traditions of your village, so, as retribution, I offer my services to your family in exchange for his life, Kakashi said. As he bowed, he looked up, and looked at Naruto, and gave him a wink. You cunning son of a bitch, Naruto thought. Very well, as of today you will serve my family, as bodyguard your stay. As a leaf is now over, remove your headband. Kakashi did what he was told. Then Naruto turned to Sasuke, as he was still pinned to the tree. Thank your formal sensei, he has taken the punishment for you. Naruto walked up to Sasuke, and pulled out the shuriken. Sasuke fell on his ass, and passed out. Now that this matter has been resolved, let's get back to the mission. Now Kurenai, you are now the leader of the leaf in this, and your mission is to keep the old man alive. Miss, you are to go back to Gato, but we need to make it look like you were defeated. Naruto went over to Zabuza, and proceeded to kick his ass harshly. Now that it is better, Haku, if they ask to say that the leaf did it, they must not know that my team is here. As for my team, we will be around the village, as part of the population. When the time comes, we will strike. Until then, this meeting never happens. Everyone nodded, and went their separate ways except for Kakashi, as he now was with Naruto and his team. Kurenai carried the unconscious Sasuke back with her. For the next 2 weeks, everything was going according to plan. Zabuza had reported to Gato that there were some leaf nuns helping the bridge builder. This pissed Gato off, so he sent 400 of his men to kill the Nina and the bridge builder. The men never made it to the village, as they were ambushed on the way over to the village. When Gato got news that his men were slaughtered, he sent 1,000 men to make sure that they burn everything in the village, as a way to show the others to keep their hope down that there was no one coming to save them. Again, they never made it, but to make things worse, Gato had lost contact with the men inside. Kurenai and her genin were training in the forest when a girl came up to them picking herbs. She passed Kurenai, and passed her a note. The note stated that everything was going according to plan, and the men that Gato sent were all killed and burned. It goes on to say that in 4 days' time Zabuza was going to attack the bridge, and he was going to bring at least 600 men with him, and for her not to worry, as he was going to be there, as one of their workers along with the other 2. He also said not to worry about the girl, as she was part of the other team that was sent in with them. 4 days had passed, and the leaf was on the bridge. Sasuke was pissed because Kurenai refused to train him, stating that she was not obligated to train him anything because he had a teacher, and lost him because of his foolishness. Hinata for some reason couldn't keep her mind off of Naruto. She was deeply infatuated with him the first time she saw him. Then suddenly an explosion hit the bridge. Many of the workers started to run away in fear. Zabuza was standing on top of the bridge with 600 men behind him. They all looked the same, but only about 20 of them looked different. They were dressed in grey ninja garbs covering their faces. On their chests were the insignia for the Black Spider clan. Zabuza hadn't had time to inform Naruto that the clan was among the group. Gato was getting desperate, and sent his best men. The Leaf Nines got into formation when suddenly Naruto and his team showed up, but he wasn't alone. Tenchi was also there. They were all wearing their battle gear. Naruto pulled out his sword, and began to cut down the mercs. He was doing fine until he encountered one of the spiders. He jumped, and kicked the spider in the head. The spider countered by throwing an exploding shuriken at him. Naruto caught it, and threw it into the water. This gave the spider a chance to pull out his weapon. Both dragon and spider Nines were in heated combat, and everyone who wasn't fighting watched in awe. Sakura went into her fighting stance. She cut down many of the merc with no problem, that is until she fought one of the spider clan. She uppercut him into the air where she met him with a devastating kick to the stomach. As the Nin fell to the ground she grabbed him, and started to spin him around. As they fell the speed of the spin increased until they reached the floor, she let go, and he hit the floor full force killing him. She was about to go on with the attack when another spider came, and attacked her. She was sent flying, but quickly recovered. Ryu was fighting with precision and power. He would take out 4 or more mercs with one attack. He jumped up, and did 4 front flips with his sword extended moving forward. As he finished a rotation he would take out 4 merc, and 1 spider. When he landed he was hit by 4 legs into the air. He quickly recovered, and used that attack to use his ninpo attack which created an electric storm around his body, after which the buildup would break free, and send tentacles of electricity down at the enemies, killing them instantly. Team Tenchi was next to the leaf, as backup if they were needed. Their job was to collect information, which they did. That is what their team was created for. It was a behind-the-scenes part, and Team Oni were the main actors, which they played beautifully. Beside them were the leaf. Kurenai couldn't believe how ruthless these teenagers were. She turned to one of the Tenchi. Miss, what can you tell me more about that team? All I know are their names. Ayin is my name. Well, that team is called Team Oni. They are called that because of how they fight. As you can see, they are ruthless. If you get on their bad side, they will kill you. Naruto, as you know him, is called the Bloody Dragon because when he was 9 killed the old Mizukichi, then proceeded to fight in the Revolt of Mist with the 7 Swordsmen of Mist. That revolt is where he earned his name. He himself took out 14 squads. Not to mention Sakura there, she was given the name of Bloody Sakura because after every kill she left a trail of Sakura petals to mark her kill. Now Ryu is the Shadow Demon because when he kills you don't even know you're dead until you hit the floor. The last thing you see is a shadow. One more thing, if you are marked for death from this team they will follow you to the ends of the earth until you are dead, and they have yet to lose anyone. Naruto was having the time of his life, never having been challenged with fighting with this spider. It was obvious that he was the leader of this squad. He moved to hit the Nin, but he countered with his sword. Both swords locked together trying to gain superiority over the other. Both fighters were evenly matched, but the Nin elbowed Naruto in the side making him lose his balance, and the sword came down hitting him in the arm. But Naruto did not scream, he was used to the sting of the blade. He slowly removed the blade from his arm, and charged the Nin, which was now unarmed. He couldn't do anything to defend himself. He thought he had beaten Naruto because he had hit his main arm, but soon found out that his offhand was just as effective as his main. Naruto sliced through the spider's head vertically. The last thing the spider saw was Naruto split in 2 before he fell to the ground dead. The fight itself lasted for a good 10 hours, and everyone was in awe, as one team of 3 teenagers killed over 600 mercs and nins, and managed to walk away with little to no injuries except for Naruto, whose arms were still bleeding from the stab wound. Ayin ran to his side to nurse the wound, which made Hinata a little jealous. She wished it was her that was by his side. Kasumi also went to his side to help. Naruto, you idiot, how many times have I told you not to overdo it? But do you ever listen to me? No. Ayin berated him. But that's what I love about you though. She gave him a small kiss on the lips. Kasumi, who just reached Naruto's side, saw how Ayin kissed Naruto, and got very depressed. Naruto saw this, and gestured to her to come over. Now I know this isn't the best place to discuss this, but I have found out that I have to have multiple wives. I have always had feelings for both of you, but was too afraid to express them. I was so happy when Ayin came up to me, and told me she loved me, so I made her my girlfriend, but I didn't know if you Kasumi even liked me until now. I could see the hurt in your eyes, and so since I have to marry 3 or more wives I want to make sure that we can get along. I know that you and Ayin are best friends, so I was wondering if both of you are willing to share, and become my first and second wives. Ayin couldn't believe what she was hearing. Naruto was asking her if she was willing to share, and become his wife. She also knew that Kasumi was in love with Naruto for a long time now since she first introduced them. She too was in love with him for a long time. She was happy, and saddened when he first made her girlfriend. Happy because she was with the one she loved, but saddened because Kasumi went home crying when she first found out. She didn't have to think long when she was given the choice. Of course, Naruto, I will become your wife, and I don't mind sharing you with Kasumi, as I know how much she loves you, and will never hurt you. All that was going through Kasumi's head was, I can't believe that Naruto asked me to marry him. This is the best day of my life. I don't mind sharing him with Ayin or the other girls either if I get a chance to be with him, and have a family. She quickly answered, of course Naruto, I will be more than happy to share with you if it means I can be with you, and have a family. And she went to hug him, but remembered his arm. But first let's get you fixed up. The leaf, and the dragon were back at Tazuna House having a post-battle meeting. Tsunami had just made tea, and left the dining room so as to not get in their way. Well, it would seem that Gato is getting desperate, as he sent all of the spiders that he hired. My guess is that he will be coming personally to make sure that the bridge builder is killed. Kasumi, what have our spies reported? Kasumi got up, and pointed to the map of the country. Indeed, Gato is getting desperate, as he is pulling all his men from the other surrounding villages. Their number round out to the near thousands, mostly lowly mercs. Some missing means mainly C-rank ones. Also Naruto, you are right, he will be making his way down to this village. His camp is 10 miles north of here, and will attack at dawn. Damn, this isn't good. Maybe a couple hundred we can handle, but thousands is too much for us. Zabuza, I know you are ready to spill blood, so I can count on you, right? Zabuza nodded with a grin on his face. Finally, this mission was beginning to get interesting. Kakashi, you will fight beside me. Kurenai, is your genin ready to spill blood? Kurenai looked at her genin with sadness in her eyes. She did not want to expose them to this part of being a ninja so soon, but now she did not have a choice. Hi, they are ready. Good, tomorrow at dawn be ready for battle. Team Oni lets us have much to do. Naruto and his group got up and left the house. Kurenai turned to her students. Everyone please follow me outside. I think it's time to give you the talk. The following morning every ninja was standing at the gates of the village. Naruto was giving his orders to his group using hand signs. Suddenly the ground started to vibrate. Everyone got into alert mode. Okay, they are about to reach the first trap. Suddenly explosions were heard. Among the explosions were screams of pain, but the soldiers kept on marching. Second trap is about to be triggered. One of the mercs tripped over the trip line, sending hundreds of kunai knives at the army, taking out a couple hundred, but still they marched on, stepping on their fallen comrades. Third and final trap, everyone gets ready for battle. As the army got closer, he signaled Sakura and Ryu to have the flaming arrows ready. The army got in sight. Naruto raised his hand, and so Ryu and Sakura raised their bows. The army was now in the right spot for Naruto to do the most damage. He lowered his hand, and 2 flaming arrows flew, hitting their targets. The barrels filled with black power exploded, sending metal shards at them. Many of the mercs fell to the ground dead, as the metal sliced through them like a hot knife cutting butter. The army of thousands was now cut down to a mere 1,000 men, still a bit much, but nothing the ninjas can handle. All right everyone, this is what we were hired to do. Do not let any of these pigs pass. Gato is mine, but anyone else is a far game. Naruto yelled, as he pulled out his trusty sword. Get ready, everyone got into their fighting stance. Attack! The ninjas went into battle. Naruto, using his father's style, was cutting the mercs down like they were nothing. Sakura was using her style, slicing the merc, as if they were cattle at a slaughterhouse. Ryu, using his father's sword, was fighting the enemy up close, and personally he wasn't getting as many kills as his teammates, but his kills were still pretty high. Zabuza and Kakashi were having the time of their lives. It had been a long time since these two had a good battle. The battle lasted a good 18 hours. Sasuke was scared for his life. He was hardly ever in battle, and had not killed anyone yet. Team 8 was faring far better than originally thought. Hinata had killed at least 140 mercs by herself. Shino and his bugs killed 100, and Kiba with his dog had 160 kills. At the end of it all there were only 200 men left, and Gato, who had been captured, as he tried to leave the battlefield. Well, it's over finally, Naruto said, as he wiped away the blood that was on his face. Now all that is left is to kill Gato, as our mission is to bring him here. Haku and Team Tenchi came with the prisoner. As the order of the daimyo of Wave Country, you are hereby sentenced to death. Gato was pleading for his life, telling him that he would give him anything he wanted, money, women, anything, but Naruto wasn't hearing it. He was ordered to kill, and that is what he was going to do. Ain and Kasumi were holding Gato down on his knees. As Naruto got closer, Naruto unsheathed his sword, lifted it over his head, and brought it down, severing Gato's head from his body. Mission accomplished. We can now go home. Kakashi and Team Tenchi will leave tonight. Leave hopes we meet again, as friends, and not as enemies, as we will not show pity. And you, Uchiha, consider yourself lucky. If it wasn't for your teacher, then you would be like that scum. But don't cross me again, as I will kill you. This is your final warning. And with that the Dragon Clan left to get their stuff ready for their departure. Oh, and the remaining mercs are for you to do, as you please, he said, as he walked away. Later that night everyone was celebrating the death of Gato. The 200 mercs were sent over to the villagers to do as they pleased. They were hanged in the town center. Just outside of Wave Country stood 4 ninja teams. The dragons were all packed up and ready to leave, but they were saying goodbye to the others. As to protocol, after your missions are over I will send a copy of our mission report. Also I will speak with your Hokage, Kurenai. I need to speak to him about the attitude of the Uchiha, and other matters. Naruto began to walk away before he heard someone yell at him. Naruto waits. Naruto turned around to see that it was Haku who stopped him, and she was blushing. Can I speak with you alone? Sure, Haku. Then he turned to his fiancés. I will be right back. He gave them a hug, and walked to speak with Haku. Both Kasumi and Ain had knowing smiles. After leaving out of earshot of the others, he turned to Haku. What is it, Hack? But he never finished his sentence, as he felt a pair of warm lips on his. I just to tell you, you, she said with a blush, I have always loved you, ever since you saved me from my father all those years ago. If it wasn't for you, my father would have killed me because of my bloodline. Haku, you are very special to me, but, as you know, I am getting married to Kasumi, and Ain, so, as you can see, I can't be with you, Naruto said to Haku. He was waiting for the tears to come, but they never did, only a smile. Now Naruto, I know all about your engagement, and I am happy for you, but I also know about how you have to have multiple wives, 3 being the minimum. All I ask for is a chance to win your heart. Naruto looked into her eyes, and saw that they were full of love for him. They had been long-time friends. Sure, he had some romantic feelings for her, but he never acted upon them. He had no idea about how she felt for him, but now he did. Sure, Haku, how about next time I am in Mist I will take you out, and we can go from there, okay? That fine, Naruto, that all I wanted, she said, as she hugged him. Now let's get going. I'll bet your fiancés will get worried if I take too much of your time, she said, as she let go of him. Don't worry about them, maybe one day you will be on equal terms with them, Naruto said with a smirk in which Haku blushed at. With everyone together again, the Dragon Neens were finally on their way home after finishing their mission. Mist did the same, as their mission was to gather information about the tyrant in Wave, and with him gone they had no reason to stay. The Leaf had to stay until the bridge was complete, as to their mission of protecting Tazuna, but with Gato dead the threat level was low to none. It had taken Naruto and the group 4 weeks to return home, after which he went to speak with the village elders about certain issues. Many weeks had passed from their mission to Wave, and Naruto and his group were relaxing at their respective homes. During that time Naruto had Kasumi go on several dates, some even with Ain, much to the dismay of all the male population of the village, because Naruto was dating 2 of the most beautiful girls of the village, and his sister was already getting married, so that left them with the next set of girls which in their eyes were just average. Kasumi had moved in. As soon as Naruto proved that he was worthy of her hand, he had to fight her older brother, and win for him to marry Kasumi. Hate was a formidable fighter, but Naruto was determined to win. Their fight had lasted over 2 hours, but in the end Naruto beat him only by a slight margin. Needless to say, Kasumi was happy, and later that night proved it. Ain had also proved her devotion to her soon-to-be husband, as she joined in the festivities. The next morning a very tired Naruto was awoken by his maid stating that he was being summoned to the Elders' Council. He quickly got dressed, and slowly made his way to the meeting. On his way there he found Ryu and Sakura also walking towards the building. All 3 of them slowly made their way there. Ryu had seen the tired expression on Naruto's face, and asked what was wrong with him. Naruto just stated, "You don't want to know," and left it at that. They soon made their way to the elders' building, and were escorted in. The group was soon before the village elders, and were waiting for them to speak. It's good to see all of you here early. I have called you here to state that the mission in Wave has finally been completed by the Leaf. So in accordance with the ninja code you are to go to both Mist and Leaf to submit your reports, and retrieve theirs. Dismissed, the main elder said. Naruto and the crew bowed before they left the room. So where are we to go to first, Mist or Leaf? Sakura asked, as she walked holding Ryu's hand. I think we should go to Mist first, seeing as it's the closest. Also I have a feeling that when we go to Leaf we are going to encounter many problems. Best we get the easiest out of the way so we can concentrate. Naruto answered, and both Ryu and Sakura agreed. After they made their decision they all went home to pack for their journey. As soon as Naruto got home he saw Kasumi and Ain already packed and ready to leave. Damn, how did you find out that I was leaving? The girls looked at Naruto with a sly smile on their faces. Come on Naruto-kun, have you already forgotten what team we used to belong to? Ain said, as she kissed Naruto. I know we disbanded the team weeks ago, but I can't believe you forgot what we used to do. I know, but still damn, Naruto said. After an hour he had everything packed and sealed, and went to the gates of the village to wait for the rest of his team. After waiting for an hour he finally saw Ryu and Sakura walking down the road. It's about time, you guys. Then he gave them a perverted grin. You know a quickie is supposed to be quick. After that statement both Sakura and Ryu blushed a very deep shade of red. Quit being perverted, dear brother, or you may never see another sunrise, Sakura said, as she gave him a chakra-reinforced punch sending him into a tree. Both Aang and Kasumi looked at Naruto, and groaned at his foolishness. Idiot, I can't believe a person who can kill an army without breaking a sweat can be so childish sometimes, they both thought, as they walked over to the unconscious Naruto, and began to heal him from several broken bones. After they finished, and woke him up, they started their way towards Mist, and Naruto glared at Sakura the whole way there. Sakura just stuck her tongue at him. Naruto never learned from his mistakes. Careful Sakura, you might lose your tongue, and I don't think Ri will like that very much. It took Sakura a couple of seconds to catch the hidden meaning to that statement, and blushed red, but not of embarrassment, but of anger, and began to chase Naruto. Things like Naruto, when I catch you, you will never be able to have children. And come on Naruto, be a man. It will only hurt for a couple of hours. We're hurt for hours on end. The rest of the group thought idiots. It took the group 4 days to reach Mist. They would have made it in 2, but they had to wait for Naruto to completely heal from his wounds. As they walked closer to the gates of the hidden village, they saw it was thriving. Can't believe only a couple of years ago this place was a total mess. And now look at it, Naruto said, as they were stopped by the guard at the gate. Halt, state your name and business, the guard said. My name is Naruto aka Bloody Dragon Namikaze Uzumaki, and this my group, and we are here to turn in our report on a joint mission we did with Mist a couple of weeks ago, as the mission is now fully over, he replied. Once Naruto introduced himself, he saw the group that was with him. He noticed the pink-haired girl, and the black-clad ninja next to her. Then he noticed the dragon insignia on the headbands. You are Team Oni! He practically yelled. The group mentally groaned, as the other ninjas that were around looked at the group, and went to tell the rest of the village of their arrival. Then he looked at the other girls, then he yelled at Team Tenchi, he said, as he blushed at the girls next to him. They were beautiful for their ages, and knew that they would only get more beautiful as time went on. Then he bowed, and said, welcome to Mist, hope you enjoy your stay, and let them in. Naruto and crew didn't even make it 3 feet from the gate when they were swarmed by the villagers trying to get a good look at their heroes. If it wasn't for them, they would have been in a deep state of despair. After talking to the villager, and running some off for getting a little too close to the girls, they finally made their way to the Mizuki's office. They were almost there only to be stopped by a wall of ice. Hello Haku-chan, how have you been? He asked, as Haku jumped from the top of the wall. Good Naruto-kun, what are you doing here? Not that I am complaining, she asked, as she hugged him. Well, we are here to submit our reports from the wave mission, and get yours. And of course take you out on that date I promised you, he answered. After hearing this, Haku turned to the other girls to see if it was alright. They both nodded to her signal that it was okay. She was happy when they talked back in wave, and they gave her the okay to date Naruto. But when she saw them again, feared that they had changed their minds. She was happy that they didn't. Can't wait, she said, as she kissed him on the cheek, earning a glare from some of the male villagers. After catching up on the things that they had been up to, they said their goodbye, and went on their way to speak with the Mizuki. They were escorted by one of the 7 swordsmen, which happened to be Zabuza. After quickly catching up with their long-lost friend, and a quick spar, they walked into the office of the Kage. I am going to skip this part because it is just them recalling the mission, and I don't feel like recapping it. Well, now that the report has been submitted, I want to invite you to stay in Mist for a couple of days, and enjoy the sight that we have to offer, he said as he bowed. Naruto stated that they would stay 1 week, as they had more business to attend to. A week had passed, and Naruto and his crew were at the gate saying their goodbyes. Well, Haku-chan, it's been a great week, and I can't wait until we see each other again. We are now going to head towards Leaf, but after we do I will make sure to come by here to pick you up, and take you home with us, Naruto said, as he hugged and kissed the girl. With that said, they all headed towards the Fire Country. Meanwhile in Konoha, location council room. This is an outrage. How can you let this happen? One of the civilian council members yelled at Kurenai, why did you let Kakashi leave with those dragon neens? What is your excuse? Esteemed council, the reason Kakashi left with the dragon neens is because Sasuke had offended the dragon nin's leader by making a move on his sister. Also, he offended Zabuza's apprentice. The dragon nin was about to kill Sasuke, but Kakashi interfered, and took the blame for his charge's actions. The leader of the group thought it over, and decided, as retribution, Kakashi was now in service to the Dragon Clan, and no longer a leaf ninja. It was either that or the death of the last Uchiha, she said, as she looked up at the Hokage. You should have offered yourself as a sacrifice instead of Kakashi. He is a more valuable shinobi than you. You should have left instead of him, the same councilman said. Maybe we can get him back if we offer something else for his return. Inside, Kurenai was pissed. How dare they say that Kakashi was more valuable than her, just because he has a Sharingan eye. No matter what was done, Kakashi is now gone. but was brought out of her musings when the council man spoke the next sentence. So it's decided that we will offer Kurenai in exchange for Kakashi. Be as a ninja or slave. If they want her, as a slave her chakra will be sealed, and her memory wiped. If ninja 50% of the chakra will be sealed, and all our secrets will be wiped. The Hokage was absolutely outraged at the civilian council, as was the ninja council. How dare they use one of their own in such a way? The Hokage had enough, and made his anger known enough of this. How dare you civilians order this to one of my ninjas? All because of the pathetic Uchiha. The civilian council was surprised because he had called Sasuke pathetic, but the Hokage wasn't done. This council has overstepped its powers, and is trying to order ninjas around. I have for a long time gone along, but no longer. As of today the civilian council is now disbanded. Everyone present is to be arrested, and is to face the shinobi grand court for their transgressions. NBU took them away. Many of the civilian council members were outraged because of the way things turned out, and tried to run, but to no avail. Danzo was the only one to get away because of his route. He quickly made his way to his hideout. Damn that old bastard, but no matter, soon the seal will be broken, and I can finally have the Namake's treasure along with the coordinates to the Dark Dragon Blade. Then my master can finally put all these pathetic humans in their place, as our food supply, as we of the fiend lineage should be the masters of the world. Then he began to laugh. And the only ones who could stop us died years ago along with the guardian of the fire country. Now nothing can get in our way, not even the dragon needs. 4 days later, Naruto and company were walking down the road when they were stopped by a figure that was covered from head to toe. Master Uzumaki, I bring you news from Konoha. There have been many changes in the past couple days. The civilian council has been disbanded, and executed for treason. Also there has been a series of fiend attacks from the Namake's estates. Anyone who gets too close has never been seen again. A lot of chakra is being used in the area, but no one can get close enough to investigate. The amount that is being used makes us believe that they are trying to override a seal, maybe to a vault. That's all, the figure said, and left with a bow. This is not good. Someone or something is trying to get into my dad's vaults. Whatever is in there must hold great value or power. I must retrieve it. I can't let it fall into the wrong hands. We must hurry. It's only a matter of time before the seal breaks. And with that the dragon means left with great speeds. It only took them 10 minutes to reach the gates of Konoha. Halt, state your business with the village, one of the guards said, as he stepped in front of the group. I am a representative of the Dragon Clan here to drop off and retrieve a report on a joint mission that we had not too long ago. Then he handed the guard his papers. The guard looked at them, and the papers to make sure that they were on the up and up. After looking at the papers he finally let Naruto into the village. Very well, keep the laws, and don't attack anyone, and enjoy your day, the guard said, as he lifted his hand, as a signal to open the gates. Naruto and company walked into the village. He could barely remember the last time he was here, but the memories he did remember made him want to leave, as soon as possible. Sakura had no memory of the place, and only knew that she was born here, and lived for a few years before she left with her big brother to the dragon village. Naruto quickly walked down the street heading for the Hokage Tower so he could finish this business, and leave, as he didn't want to stay there more than he had to. After walking for 3 minutes they were approached by 20 ANBU Nins holding their weapons at them. They all had white masks, and the symbol for any on them. Dragon Nins, my leader would like to have a word with you, please come with us, the leader of the group said, as he approached Naruto. Naruto, be careful, I sense fiend blood in them, they are not what they appear, Ryu said, as he moved his hand to retrieve his sword that he got when he took over the Hayabusa clan from his father. Yes, Naruto, I sense great corruption in these things, Sakura said, as she reached for her kunai knife. Naruto just nodded, and pulled his sword, his mother's sword, and a short sword. I'm afraid we can't come with you, as I have business with the Hokage, so please move aside, and let us through. The leader of the group began to chuckle. Our lord said to bring you to him by force if necessary, and attack, but leave the leader alive, and also the females, as they can provide some entertainment later, he said, as he charged the group. Naruto jumped into the air, as 4 swords impaled the earth. While in the air he began to spin with his sword extended, taking 2 of the 4 ninjas out. The leader then tried to get behind him to subdue him, but was met by the fist of Sakura with a yell of open skill jackhammer after 20 chakra-infused punches to the face and stomach. The leader was sent flying into a wall. Ryu was moving at great speeds, and striking the enemy in non-vital points of the body, hoping to get some answers as to why they were being targeted, and who their leader was. 4 of them went after Kasumi, and Ain. They were met with a series of kicks and punches. Both females moved in tandem with each other. When one finished with her attack the other made her move. After a fierce 10 minutes, only the leader of the group was left alive, as the one that Ryu injured killed themselves with poison pills. The leader was going to do the same, but Naruto took the pills, and any weapons he had away from him. Suddenly they were surrounded by more nins with their faces covered with masks, but their markings were of animals stating that they were regular ANBU of the village. They demanded what was going on. Naruto stated that his group was attacked by these ninjas after refusing to speak with their boss. They nodded at the story, and told them to follow them to the Hokage. They were also going to take the surviving nin to the holding cell, but Naruto said no to that, and ordered Ryu to take him with them, as he wanted answered, and didn't know how deep the corruption was. The trip to the Hokage office was a quiet one after that. It took them 4 minutes to make it to the building. It would have been faster, but they did not want to injure the captive any more than he already was. Naruto and the group were finally at the door to the Hokage's office. Naruto gave a long sigh, as he was about to meet his adoptive grandfather again after such a long time. He knocked on the door, and waited for the order to go in. He did not have to wait long, as he heard a voice he hadn't heard for a long time. "Come in," the third said, as he was doing his paperwork. He couldn't wait to see his adopted grandson. He was deeply saddened when he got the news that Naruto had refused to return to the village. He had hoped that Naruto, and even Sakura would become leaf ninjas, but no, they became dragon nins instead. He was happy that Naruto had found a village that he could call home, but was also saddened because it wasn't Konoha. He looked up from his desk to see 5 dragon ninjas standing in front of his desk. One of the ninjas was holding what seemed to be an unconscious Eni operative. "What's with the Eni?" he asked, as he looked at the leader of the group. He couldn't make out his facial features, as they were covered by cloth, but the one thing he did see was those deep blue eyes. Those eyes showed experience. Also that he has seen too many things that someone his age shouldn't, and when he spoke it sent a shiver down his spine. His voice was full of power and confidence. "This ninja along with 20 others had attacked my group not long ago. We have dealt with the others, and he is the only survivor. I want a room so I can interrogate him, but I will allow one of your interrogators to join me if you wish. If my demand is not met, then this will be an act of war," Naruto said to his once grandfather. Though he did not want to meet like this, he was a ninja first. He was attacked by a group, and he needed to know why. Also from my sources I have found out that there have been attacks in the Namikaze district. I wish for my group to go in, and find out what is going on, and what these things are looking for. He finished by pulling the mask off the Nin, and showed how his face was disfigured. His skin looked like it was melting off, giving a rather foul smell. His eyes were a sickening yellow, his teeth were pointy, and rather jagged. "What the hell is that?" the third asked, as he tried to hold the contents in his stomach down. "This thing used to be human a long time ago, but now is a fiend grunt. He has been injected with field blood which caused him to mutate into what you see here. They aren't that powerful at best. Once turned they follow the orders of a greater fiend," Naruto explained. "What a fiend?" the third asked, as he had never heard of one. "A fiend is a demon. They crave the flesh of humans. They are vile creatures that we of the dragon lineage have been fighting for hundreds of years now. We thought we had killed them all, but I guess we were mistaken. If this thing is in your village, then that means there is more, possibly a greater fiend. I have a guess where they are hiding," Ryu stated, as he put the mask back on the fiend grunt. "Where are they hiding?" "At the Namikaze estate, my father's home. I believe they are trying to break into the family vault. There must be something of great power in those vaults for the fiend to act so aggressively when anyone comes too close. I have to stop them from opening that vault, but I won't make a move until I find out how many are in the estates, and who is calling the shots," Naruto said, as he pulled a scroll out of his vest. "By the way, this is the mission report of the joint mission we did. Now I hope you have a room in which we may use." Of course, he pushed the intercom before speaking again. Miko-chan had one of the interrogation rooms set up for the dragon nins, and also had Anko be ready, as she will supervise them. Then the third turned to Naruto. "I hope you find what you are looking for. I hope you don't mind staying in Konoha until the matter is resolved." He waited for the nins to answer him, to which he got a nod from Naruto. "Great, I will set up a guest house in my compound. Now if there is anything you might need, come to me, and I will make it happen if it is reasonable. And Naruto, it's great to see you again. Sakura, you two have grown into a beautiful young lady." Naruto and his group were being led out by their ANBU guides when he turned around and looked at the third. "It's good to see you again, old man." And with that they left the office. They were led downtown with their captive in tow. Many of the civilians looked on with awe and confusion. Most of them had never heard of the Dragon Clan. Most of the retired ninjas bowed in respect to them. They at one time in their careers fought alongside them, and sometimes against them. Many of the current ninjas knew who this group was, and were slightly on edge. It's not every day you see the famous Team Oni walking through your village. It was a peaceful walk until they came across a certain Uchiha. "Hey you dragon ninja, I demand you fight me," he yelled, but was ignored by the group, and the shinobi in general. They still didn't like the prick. "Didn't you hear me? Fight me!" he yelled like a little selfish bastard he was. Seeing that he was being ignored, he charged the head ninja of the group. He went for a punch, but was stopped by a huge amount of pain. He looked around, and found that it was Sakura who had kicked him in the back of the head. It sent him flying. Everyone was stunned, as they didn't see her move. The group didn't say anything, and just went on their way. As they moved, it was getting hotter, and hotter, so they began to remove some of their wrappings. For Naruto and Ryu, they removed their masks, then the outer vest of their uniform, leaving them in their tight undershirt that clung to their bodies, also leaving their arms bare, showing their muscles. For the females of the group, they also removed their masks, and let their beautiful face be seen to the wound. They also removed their outer vests, leaving them in a rather revealing form-fitting shirts. The shirts were low-cut, and showed a lot of cleavage. The shirt itself is made with two different materials. The lower part of the shirt was regular cloth with seals on them, making it harder than steel when activated. The upper part was made of mesh. All in all, they all turned a couple of heads when they walked. After a few minutes, they finally reached the ANBU headquarters, and were quickly ushered to one of the rooms. When they arrived, they were met with a woman who was wearing a trench coat and a mesh shirt that almost showed her, but thanks to a few seal didn't. It served as a distraction tactic which all females used. She had her hair in a ponytail, but made her head look like a pineapple. "I assume you are Anko," Naruto said, as she looked at the woman, and couldn't help but blush. She was stunning. The woman just stood there and watched this blonde god walk in. She had expected some run-of-the-mill ninja to come in, but this was too much. Not trusting her voice, just nodded. "Great, so let's get started then. My name is Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki, by the way," Naruto said, as he put the captured Nin thing in the chair. Anko was surprised. Namikaze was a clan name that she hadn't heard in a while. In fact, they haven't said that name in almost 15 years, but she had to put that away for later, as she had someone to interrogate. "Slap, who do you work for? Why did you attack me and my group?" Naruto yelled. "Fuck you, I ain't saying shit." "Oh, this is going to get fun and bloody. Can't wait to get started," Anko thought, as he sported a wicked smile. "Oh goody, now I get to use my toys. Naruto-kun, I know we just met, but you give the best presents." At this statement, Naruto's sweat dropped. "Me? And you are going to get along fine. Now let's see how long our friend here can last before he breaks. I always wondered how a dragon nin gets their information. Care to share notes? Show me yours, and I show you mine." Naruto let out an evil grin. The operative pissed himself at the statement. All through the building, the screams of some unlucky soul could be heard. "I know it's been a while, but I have many other fics rolling in my head that I can't concentrate on. But I will complete all of my stories. If not, I will delete them or put them up for adoption." After working on the operative, both Naruto and Anko came out wiping blood off their hands. Man, who knew Fiend had that much blood? "They are certainly fun to play with though," Anko said, as she looked up at Naruto, who was drying his hands. "Yeah, they sure are, and if the information he gave us is correct, then I am going to enjoy myself more once I storm the mansion." "Care to join Anko-chan?" he said, as he gave her a foxy smile at the end of the statement. "Oh, are you asking little old me to a play date?" she said, as she returned a smile to him. "Why not? Hell, it can be fun. I am also curious as to how a leaf nin fights. Care to show me then?" he retorted, as he moved behind her and wrapped her into a hug. Not one to be beaten, Anko quickly turned around and pressed her body up to Naruto in a seductive voice. "I'll be happy with Naruto-kun, and maybe I can show you more after that." Naruto quickly replaced himself with a clone before it dispelled. "Can't wait," he said, and slapped her on her ass before he melted into the ground. Anko's mind went blank for a minute before anger began to rise as she realized that he slapped her ass, but soon her anger was replaced with excitement. "Oh, this is going to be fun. No man has ever gone toe-to-toe with me," and was left standing. "Look out, Naruto-kun, you have just become my prey, and when I have you bowing at my feet, I will have so much fun with my new plaything." As Naruto walked down the street heading to the Hokage mansion to get some well-deserved sleep, a chill went down his back, but a good one. "Good luck, Anko-chan. But if you want to play this game, it will be you that will bow to me, and once you do, you will stand next to my other wives, as a proud Uzumaki." And he continued walking. It was almost 8 when he reached the mansion, and the guards let him in. As he was about to knock on the door, a maid opened the door and bowed to him. "Master Naruto, welcome to the Hokage mansion. Please come in, and the Hokage is waiting for you in the dining room. Is there anything you would like to drink for dinner?" the young maid said, as she guided Naruto to the dining hall. "Some green tea will be fine, thanks." After the maid led him to the room she left to make the tea, Naruto was amazed at the sheer size of the room. Everything was spotless, and the glass on the table seemed to sparkle, as if diamonds, as the chandeliers cast its light on them. "Naruto, you're here, please sit. Dinner will be out in a minute," the Hokage said, as he walked in with some other guests. "May I present to you Hiashi Hyuga, and I think you have met his daughter Hinata. It is good to see you again, Hinata-san." "Hyuga-sama, you have a strong daughter," Naruto said, as he bowed to both of them. "Please, Uzumaki-sama, don't waste your praises on someone so weak," he said in an uncaring manner. "She is nothing but a failure." And Hinata looked like she wanted to cry. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the statement. "Oh really, if what I saw in the field is coming from a failure, then you must be strong. I mean, she took out at least 400 enemies of at least rank, maybe some by herself in the battle we had in Wave." Which made Hiashi turn to her daughter and stare at her. "How is this possible, if when she fights her younger sister she always loses?" Hiashi asked, as he wouldn't take his eyes off her. "Well, I am not well versed in clan traditions from this village, and especially from the Huga Clan. But if what I heard is correct, then since you have 2 daughters, and obviously only one can be clan head. Now I keep hearing things about a caged bird seal placed on your branch family, but I am not sure as to what it does, nor I care. Assuming that Hinata-san is named clan heir, her sister would have the seal placed on her so that way she cannot come to challenge her later. That is why she does what she does. If my assumptions are correct, there is a time limit to when the seal can be placed." Naruto looked at the current clan head for answers. "Yes, when they turn 6 is the latest they can place the seal. My youngest daughter has just turned 6 a couple months ago, so she is safe from the seal." The clan head, as realization came to him like a bunch of bricks. His elder daughter was shielding her young sister from bearing the seal. Then something else came to mind. "I see, you realized it, and the next thing that comes after that is the fight of passage. If 2 or more siblings from the Huga clan head are born, and a clan heir has not been chosen, then they must fight for the right to become one. It's a fight to the death, which is why the seal was first designed. But if Hinata here doesn't want the seal placed on her sister, then it must come at a huge price. A price that she is not willing to pay to lead the clan. I bet she won't even fight when your elders force them to, just so her sister can live on in her stead." Naruto drank some of his tea, and took a breather before continuing. He saw the sorrow in Hinata's eyes, as tears began to fall. Hiashi for the first time in so long began to shed tears of the concept of losing his daughter to an old tradition. He couldn't let them do that. Even though he treated his eldest like shit, he still loved her very much. It was just that he had an image to keep up, and that image almost cost him the loss of one of his daughters. Naruto continued his rant. "That is a truly noble thing she is going to do, but I am afraid she will only lose her life for nothing." Hiashi looked at Naruto with a questioning look. Naruto just pulled out a scroll, and tossed it to him. "Throughout the history of the Huga clan, and most of the clan here in Konoha, there has never been a female clan head. I mean, they have been heiresses, and such, but they never claimed the title of clan head. And you know why? Well, because they are married off to other members of the clan. One that is farthest away from the family tree, but close enough to it to make him the head. Most likely Hinata here already has her suitor picked out, and they are waiting for you to declare her heiress so they can push the marriage. But seeing as she now has to fight her sister in mortal combat, her sister will be the one they marry off. They don't really care. As long as there is an heiress, it's all the same to them. Such a noble clan indeed." Naruto finished. As the food was served, the Hokage, who was quiet the whole time, decided to speak. "So Naruto, tell me, was your investigation successful?" "Why, yes, it was. Turns out that a man named Danzo is trying to open my dad's vault so he can get the Dragon Eye, a gem that was entrusted to the Namikaze clan by my mother's clan, the Uzumaki, when they married. It's a gem that when used can enhance any weapon to its highest form, be it a sword to a cannon. It is a priceless heirloom, and when placed into my sword transforms it to the true sword of the Uzumaki clan. But also inside the vault is the location of the Dark Dragon Sword, a sword that we of the dragon lineage have kept safe for thousands of years. Made from the bones of the dark dragon, its blade can cut through any material, but at a cost. You see, the soul of that damned dragon is in the sword, and corrupts the soul of the user. The Fiend Lord must want to use the sword, being that he is already corrupt, and won't suffer the poison it emits. Of course we cannot let him have it." And with that he looked around, and asked, "Where is my group? Shouldn't they be here?" "Well, Sakura is with Ryu. Something about dinner under the stairs, as a way to say sorry." At this Naruto chuckled. "And the girls are shopping with my daughter-in-law, so they will be here shortly." "I see." And Naruto continued to eat his food, as Hiashi and Hinata looked like they were about to cry. "I truly am sorry, but I needed to do this. I might hate your clan, but I promised your wife when she died protecting me that I would break their hold on you, and become a family again." After dinner Hiashi asked if he could speak with Naruto. "Naruto-sama, at first I came over to see if I could persuade you into an alliance with the Hyuga, as your father was a Namikaze, and held a lot of power in the council. But after today's revelation I wish to ask something from you. What is it? And if I can do it I will. I want you, and your dragon Neen to kill the Huga elders. For far too long they have controlled the Huga traditions, and refused to change. I at one time had tried to change the clan, but after my 2 daughters were born they threatened to put seals on them, and have them become nothing but sex slaves to the elders. It is the reason I am the way I am today. Do you accept it? Do you realize what you just asked me? To do this will be a declaration of war between the Namikaze Uzumaki clan and the Huga clan. You also know that even though my clan is smaller, being that it is only me and my sister Sakura, we will still win if it gets serious. Once we win you will be a servant to my clan until I or any of my descendants release you, right? Even after knowing this, do you still wish to proceed? After thinking it over he decided that he was not going to lose either of his beloved daughters to an old tradition because the old bastards were afraid of change. He promised that after this is all said and done the caged bird seal will be taken off everyone, and then he will reform the clan to what it should have been in the first place. Then Hayashi got on one knee and lowered his head. Yes, for the sake of my daughters, I will talk to the Namikaze clan, and together we can reform the Huga clan back to its proper roots. Very well, by morning's first light your elders will live no more. As a member of the Oni team I promise you, as such if any of your guards attack I will kill them. He turned around and began to walk away toward his temporary home. As he walked he passed by a tree and stopped. You know he does all this so you don't have to sacrifice yourself anymore. It's time for you to step out of the shadow and become your true self. And then he walked away. Hinata was standing behind the tree and witnessed the whole conversation. She couldn't believe that her father was going to such extreme lengths to save them both. She had long ago accepted this as her fate, to die by the hands of her younger sister, but in doing so she would be saving her. That is why she never let anyone into her heart. Of course there was someone she had an eye on, but it wouldn't have been fair for her to get close if she was going to die. But now she had that chance, a new life to live, and it was all thanks to Naruto. She walked over to her father who was still on his knee, tears clearly falling down his cheeks. As she got near she heard her father say to Hinata, I am sorry. I wish I could take it all back. I wish I was strong enough. I wish I was strong enough. She couldn't take it anymore, and engulfed her broken father in a hug. It's okay, father. We both had to do things to protect our family. Come tomorrow morning we will be free of the old traditions, and we can begin new ones that will bring our family together. And father and daughter for the first time in many years cried together. Naruto walked into the guest house that the third had set up. Inside he lifted his hand, and 4 people surrounded him. How was your trip around the village? It was nice, Ayan said, as she dropped some bags in the living room. Good to hear. Then he turned to Sakura and Ryu. Team Oni, tonight we have a mission. Both Ryu and Sakura got into attention as they waited for Naruto to give out the orders. Tonight we will infiltrate the Huga compound and assassinate the Elder Council. This mission was given to me by the clan head of the clan. There are 12 targets total. From the information I got they are having a meeting as we speak. We will enter through the south entrance and make our way towards the council's room. From there it's up to you how you want to accomplish the mission. Just get it done. Now under no circumstance are you to hurt any of the clansmen unless they attack you first. We have a time limit until the sun gives its first light. Get in, kill the targets, and get out of the mission. We have 3 hours to prepare, and it will give us 5 hours to complete. After which we meet here, and rest until the end of the week. We storm my father's mansion, and chase off those friends. Naruto went into his room followed by his 2 fiancées. Once he was inside he pulled out a scroll from his pack, and opened it inside with his equipment and clothes. He began to strip, as Ayan came with an undershirt that was made of metal mesh. Once it was put on Naruto, Kasumi came with the outer shirt. Then they both put on his arm gauntlets, and Shinguard's Ayan then came with something wrapped in cloth. She knelt in front of him, and carefully unwrapped the package. It was the Uzumaki sword. Naruto then knelt down, and pulled a cloth from inside the wrapping, and unsheathed the sword. It was in good condition even after seeing battle for the past 400 years. Naruto began to polish the blade until it shined. After he was done he went to the center of the room where a table was placed. Naruto knelt at the end of the table while Ayan and Kasumi sat in front of him. They both began to pour tea, as it was a tradition even before they were together that they would get together before a mission and have a tea ceremony. After they had their tea Naruto kissed both of them, and walked out to the living room, and found Sakura and Ryu in full battle gear. All black, and covered almost every part of the body except the eyes. Both nodded, and all 3 sank into the ground. Just a couple of feet away from the council chambers 3 figures rose from the ground silently. They began to watch the guards in hopes to catch them off guard, but they were at full attention, so they waited. After 2 hours they overheard something that would give them an opening. "Do you know what day this is?" one of the guards said. "Yes, it's the first day of the new season, so that means the council will be getting new branch maidens. Man, that pisses me off to no end. If it wasn't for this fucking seal, I would kill them all," the second guard said. "Shut it. You know if any of the main branches hear you, they will kill you." "Man, I am just glad my dear sister is still too young for this tradition, but I know she won't be safe next season, and it saddens me to know that one day she might become a sex slave to this council before she can blossom into a righteous woman," the first guard said, as he wiped a tear from his eyes. "I also know that the council is pushing the flight of passage to tomorrow morning, as the deadline for the seal to be placed on one of Hayashi's daughters has passed. Wonder why? I thought they would have 1 year to do so. You don't know, do you? They are pissed at Hayashi-sama for not announcing one of the daughters as heir so the other can be branded, thus forced to follow the female branch traditions." "You don't mean that they had planned to do that to his daughter?" "Yes, they wanted to give him a blow to his honor. Think about it, the clan head daughter is nothing more than a common sex slave. Hayashi-sama would have been humiliated, so now they want one of them dead. Man, I wish I could do something about it. I'd hate to see one of them die." Naruto now knew how to get into the council room, and waved his team to follow him. As they made their way to their destination, Naruto began to tell them his plan. "Here is what we are going to do. First, we infiltrate the female quarters, and find the maiden the guards were talking about. Second, we use our special henge to look like one of the girls. The guards will then lead us to the council room. After they leave us, we knock out the girls, and kill the targets." Both Ryu and Sakura gave him a quick nod, telling him that they got it. After looking for 10 minutes, they found the chamber of the branch maidens. They silently made their way towards the corner of the room, and used the special henge that not even the Byakugan can see through to look like one of the maidens. They heard cries of despair of what was going to happen to them, not knowing that they will not suffer the same fate of the others. After another hour or so, 2 guards came in, and told them to get in line. They had looks of sadness on them, as they led them to the chambers. The walk was slow and tedious, but they finally made it to the council chamber. The doors opened, and they were led into a waiting area. The guards told them to wait there until they were called to the room. Naruto and company's anger began to rise as they heard the cries of help coming from the council room. The elders were killing the branch women with the seal. Naruto raised his hand, and dropped his henge, so did Sakura and Ryu. The maidens were surprised when they saw 3 ninja of unknown origins just suddenly appeared. Naruto turned to them, and told them to be quiet, and everything will be just fine. Naruto then pointed to Sakura, then he pointed to the left. Sakura nodded, and melted in the ground. Naruto then pointed to Ryu, then to the right. Again another nod, and he melted. Naruto just looked down the middle, and walked. Inside of the chamber, 14 women were on the ground writhing in pain, as 12 elders had wide smiles on their faces. Naruto had enough, as he yelled at them to stop, red chakra flowing. The scared elders lost concentration, and lost the connection to the branch women. Naruto told them to run to the next room, which they did. "Who the hell are you?" the chief elder yelled in anger. "Who I am is none of your concern, as you will not see the rising of the next sun," Naruto said, as he pulled his sword out. He noticed the center elder raising his hand to throw something at him. In a split second, Naruto vanished, and reappeared in front of the elder. A flash of light was all the elder saw before darkness claimed him. "Why are you doing this? We never did anything to you," another elder said, as he tried to crawl away from Naruto until he saw the dragon symbol on his head shield. "Dragon Nin, that is correct, you did nothing to us." Us went through the minds of the elders, as they only saw 1 dragon ninja. "What do you mean to us?" an elder said before he was cut off by 2 bodies hitting the floor. They looked at the headless bodies of their brethren before they looked at the 2 dragon nins. They saw the eyes of pure disgust staring at them. "Timoni, why are they attacking us? We have never crossed paths before." The only ones were Hinata and Hayashi. "Unless he is the one who sent them. Prepare to meet your brethren in hell for what you did to this family." And he signaled his team to kill them all. For 20 minutes the cries of the elders could be heard coming from the council room. No matter how they tried, the guards could not open the chamber. After 20 minutes the cries stopped, and blood flowed from under the door. Inside, Naruto and his team, covered in blood, walked toward the waiting area where the women were. As they got nearer, the women began to huddle in the corner, the older women protecting the maidens, ready to offer themselves to them in return for the safety and purity of the young women behind them. Naruto was deeply saddened by this. "You are safe now, the elders have been killed. You are free now," was all he said, as he looked upon the scene before him. He turned around, and walked towards the door with his sword ready, as he used too much energy in the fight earlier. Beside him was his best friend, and his sister ready to fight their way out. They moved the body of the elder who tried to escape, and undid the locking seal they placed before the attack. After the seal was removed, the door flew open. Many of the Huga guards surrounded them ready to fight and kill the intruders. "Stop!" one of the maidens yelled, as she stood in front of Naruto with her arms held out. "These ninjas saved us, please stop." "Kagome?" one of the guards in the back said, as he moved to the front. "That you?" he asked, as his voice almost gave out. His eyes were puffy and red, as he was crying. "Yes, brother, it's me," she replied, as she removed her veil. She was extremely beautiful, and well formed from a curse that she got from her mother. Her mother was one of the lucky ones that didn't go through the tradition. "Please, brother, let them be. Yes, they killed the elders, but in doing so they saved us from a horrible fate." The guards, after hearing that statement, looked around the room, and saw that it was covered in blood, and the bodies of the elders littered the area. After a couple of minutes, Hayashi came out in full combat gear along with his daughters. "Let them go," was all he said before he bowed to Naruto. Everyone made room for the group. As Naruto and the gang slowly walked to the gate, they noticed that everyone was bowing to them, the elite main house to the lowly branch house servant. As they left the compound, they heard the speech that Hayashi spoke. "Huga, tonight we suffered a great blow. We lost our elders, keeper of the traditions of our clan. Though we mourn their loss, we must move on. We Huga lost today to a greater clan, the Uzumaki Namike's clan. Though they seem tired, we would have still lost to them. Tomorrow I will go see this clan with my best guard, and surrender to them. We will serve the Uzumaki clan until they see fit to release us. But starting tonight I hereby banish the usage of the caged bird seal. It will be removed from every Huga. Furthermore, the division of main and branch will no longer exist, only the Huga clan. For many years now I had seen the separation of our family hurt the clan as a whole. Tonight has shown me how much so." Every branch member now had tears running down their faces. They were now free to make choices for themselves. The father now cried tears of happiness, as they now knew that their daughters would never have to follow the old traditions anymore. Also, now that the elders have been killed, so have the traditions, so we will have to make new ones, and maybe one day our clan can become even more powerful and honorable, as it should have been. Everyone was now cheering and partying, which was kind of odd seeing that they suffered a great blow, but with a bright new future waiting for them, they partied till sunrise. Back at the guest house, we find 3 people sleeping in the arms of their loved ones, Ain and Kasumi with great big grins on their faces, Sakura and Ryu on the floor with clothes thrown all over the room. Tomorrow everyone will know what happened at the Huga compound, and hell will break loose, but tonight they slept in peace. The end. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.